And since divisional play started in '69, it's the first time you've had 3 teams, 10 games to go, a half game apart.
And as a player, this is your favorite time of the year. So they got an opportunity here. It's in their hands, which is also what you want. We'll see how it goes.
The Astros have seen their 2.5-game lead go away.
Yanks, Mariners left 11 men on.
Fly ball deep right field. There's another Texas home run.
Got him. Astros are swept by the Kansas City Royals.
The Mariners are winless here in Arlington.
Yeah, a stunning weekend. Astros and Mariners both swept. Mariners swept by Texas. All right, that makes some sense. Astros swept by Kansas City. It's a bit of a surprise. So you see the wild card right now. It's Tampa Bay way up on top, plus 9.5. So they're in. Obviously, they've clinched. You've got the Blue Jays now plus 2. And you've got the Houston Astros clinging to that final playoff spot. And the Mariners are a half game out. So I only okayed this, John Heyman. You know I'm very strict about bringing out the flames of doom. But I brought out concern, panic, or the flames of doom because somebody is going home, right? And Houston has lost 9 of 12. So where are you on concern, panic, doom for either club?
Well, it would be pretty bold to doom these teams because it's basically 50, assuming that Toronto's going to get in here, and I wouldn't completely assume that, but likely one of these 2 teams is not going to make it. To tell you which one right now I think would be difficult, I think it's up to our personality, whether it's concern or panic. Now, I'm more of a panicker.
You're more of a panic guy?
I'm going panic for both teams, Houston and Seattle, both panicking right now, neither doing great, but I'm panicking more if I'm Houston 2-7 against Oakland and Kansas City recently. Yeah. That's a bad sign. And it's stunning because Houston is a very good team, obviously. They're defending champions.
2 weeks ago, Bo, they had a 2.5-game lead, the Astros, and the defending champs. You just figured they'd be there. Where are you?
That's a reason to be concerned because they did not play their best baseball against teams that they actually should have beaten. But I'm going to make a bold prediction here. The team that, out of these 3 teams that end up the wild card, I believe will actually end up representing the American League in the World Series.
You're saying the 6th seed?
The 6th seed.
The 6th seed will rise through.
Here's why. Whoever wins the division is going to have to sit and wait. Mm-hmm. But the team that comes out as the wild card, out of these 3 teams, they're going to be playing playoff baseball games for the rest of the season. Mm-hmm. So they're going to enter the playoffs with all of that momentum of finally getting into the postseason, and that's when they're going to go on their run.
Yeah, I would have pushed back against that until I watched last season. And you see these red-hot wild-card teams coming through. They're just primed, and they're geared up. And then the top 2 seeds are kind of sitting there waiting. A little flat at the end of the week.
Yeah, well, let's not count on Houston because the Yankees in 2000 were like this. They lost, I think, something like
it's a vastly different club. I saw that up on another show. The 2000 Yankees are a vastly different club.
Yeah, but they had a very similar record and a very similar ending to the season. They were quite bad going in 2000. I remember
covering an inexplicable finish. You're right.
Well, this is inexplicable too. I would push back on that a little bit. I think Baltimore's the favorite team. They now have John Means back. Bradish has been outstanding. Grayson Rodriguez has been outstanding, and we know they can hit. To me, Baltimore is the favorite. They're clearly the best team. I know last year was, but I think of that as an aberration. That doesn't happen every year with a 5 or 6 team gets into the World
I think we're going to see that all the I think we're going to see it all the time. And
Baltimore's pretty good.
To be fair, last year it was the 1 and 2 seed. It was the Astros and the Yankees, right? Am I losing my mind? Astros and I'm losing my mind.
And the ALCS,
the American League, the
American League. Yes, it came down to the Astros.
We can't even remember.
Yeah,
but it was a top
Yankees and Astros. Astros won 4-0.
Yeah, it was a sweep. It was 1 versus 2, and the National League was 5 versus 6. But Bo, I think there's something to that. Even when you see the Braves and the Dodgers in the National League, that they're sitting around for a week while other teams are gearing up. Now, you'd rather get a top 2 seeds because you get knocked off in the first round. But for those that escape, you see, there seemed to be something to that last year.
Yes, when you start to look at the parity of the teams, I mean, I look at Seattle. I think they're one of the best teams in the American League. The Houston Astros, the defending champions. When you think about them playing playoff baseball, basically the last 6 or 7 games of this season, I just think they're going to enter the postseason. They're going to be hot, and they're going to be a lot of trouble. And speaking to Baltimore, this is their inexperience at this time of year. When you start to look at the experience of the Houston Astros, Seattle being in the postseason last year, if you're Baltimore, it would probably be better if you had to play right away.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The whole experience thing, too. We're looking at the schedules here. Look, Astros are going to have a they have Seattle and Arizona. Arizona's a motivated, player. Texas has, the Angels, they're probably in, right? Angels and then Mariners.
Texas looks pretty good.
Yes, and if you're Seattle, you actually, in my opinion, you love to control your own destiny. You don't want to be scoreboard watching. Like if you're Houston, you're playing Arizona and you're scoreboard watching the Texas and Seattle series. But if you're Seattle, the team that's in front of you, if they beat the teams in front of them right now, they're in.
Yeah, I don't want to be playing Arizona either, especially with the pitchers, Kelly, Gallen. Those are really good pitchers.
And then you play Texas, you're down 10-0 by the fifth. It's like, it's demoralizing sometimes, right? That happens.
Pretty good.